Where the have you been? Well, this Patreon post pretty much sums it up all in a nutshell. You're more than welcome to check this out, patreon.com/JakeNoob. And this is part of the free tier, so you're welcome to look at it in detail. But we're going to go through each of the sort of bullet points that you see in the center here. And I'm also going to talk about what I've been up to. So the first thing I should probably talk about, as I've just said to the stream before going ahead and recording, it's been very hot in the UK, like really, really warm. To the point where it actually impacted my ability to be in the office for a duration of time, even with windows fully closed, darkened room, you name it, everything that you can possibly do. It became unbearable. So much so that I'm actually having to keep an eye on the temperature in my room today. I have a little thermometer, a digital one, that's sort of keeping an eye on the temperature. So we'll see how warm it gets in here. If it gets too hot, then yeah, the stream will probably just end up being cut. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, because peak summer is always the worst timing. But the flip side is winter's coming soon. That'll mean more opportunity. So I've also had a lot of adulting and actual work to do for the first time for a while in terms of what I do outside of streaming and content creation. I won't delve into what I do, but it is IT related. That's all I'll say. And it's actually been pretty good. It's been booming nicely. Very, very pleased, obviously, but also quite disappointed because it's led my my free time to being, well, heavily focused on research and other things that I need to do. But anyway, future plans will be as follows. We're going to try and do shorter streams, but more often. I'm going to try and expand my schedule to be available for Mondays and Wednesdays for short streams in the evenings. Not sure exactly what time we're going to aim for. It probably will be around sort of 8:30 UK time, going into nearly, I guess, towards midnight. So that's sort of the targets. We'll try and do the same on Wednesdays, which will likely be, again, opening up to do short stuff or collabs in the future. We'll see. So the other thing that I wanted to do as well is, obviously, I want to get into more collaborations, but I also want to make sure I make content that's actually worth watching, like topical stuff. So that's what I'm going to try and focus on doing, whether it's making, IRL videos or doing stuff that's more, talking about stuff that's happening in the gaming space, or just anything I find interesting that I've just, I can turn to short form content or otherwise, and just go from there. Just talk, get it out there. The more I make, the more likely it's going to get seen, right? So I've been really limiting my exposure by doing that, which is not good for growth. The other thing as well, the subject prompts, I've really enjoyed doing those. I put them on hold for a while because I kind of wanted to just focus on enjoying a few other games and stuff like that, but I think I really want to go back to it and have some fun with prompts. Still got a whole list to get through, which I'm not going to spoil any of them, but some of them are still quite interesting. I need to come up with some more ideas too. So if you've got any, drop them in the comments below. That'd be really, really helpful. And if you're not sure what subject prompts are, there'll be a link to the playlist in the description, but to give you the TLDR, I get given a random prompt that appears on screen. I have to complete that task within a reasonable time frame, usually about an hour. And yeah, if I succeed, I succeed. If I fail, I get to try again at another time. So yeah, it'll be great. Hopefully when things get a little bit more serious with it, I'll probably think about some like punishments that I'll have to do. So, maybe I have to eat like, them horrible Bertie Bott's beans or something stupid like that. Just, yeah. That way it gives me a bit more stakes to actually try and do stuff. And I will increase the difficulty too over time. But with that, I want to make sure that I push videos out, whether it's short form or long form, because I want to stop the AI slop being pushed everywhere. I want to be part of the movement that makes organic content better. So we're going to see what that does. But yeah, I'm also hoping to learn how to draw. I've been really, really wanting to learn how to draw, because as much as I love my current self, the ability to have hands would be great. So I want to be able to build my own model for the first time and do the rigging and do all the stuff that I needed to do. Whether it means I take the rigging from this model and then just add the hands to it, we don't know, but we'll see what we can do. All part of a learning process. And then the other one as well, I'd love to storyboard. I'd love to learn how to make a storyboard, so whether I can turn that into video games or video formats, animations, etc. I want to be able to learn that skill to do something more creative, because don't get me wrong, I love doing music, I love doing streams, I love doing video content, stuff like that, but kind of want to push myself a little bit more and be a little bit more, I don't know, wider with my palette rather than limiting myself to just gaming. I'd rather do stuff like, short form films or animations or, short games that people can play on their phones and all that kind of stuff. Simple mechanical games that are interesting, if that makes sense. But yeah, setting the goals first, but then narrowing down the focus. That's basically what this whole list of things is. Also, collaborations. Yeah, I need to really reach out to different communities and make friends. It's something that I've been neglecting for a while. I haven't really been encouraging anybody to come along and stream with me or anything else like that. I need to work on that, and I will hopefully do so with the communities that I'm in that have collaboration openings and stuff, so I can just throw my hat in and be like, hey, I'd like to play this, and this. If anybody's down to play, we can work something out, and go from there. Also, longer playthroughs. The community recently voted for Mario 64, Super Mario 64, to be a long playthrough. I will obviously stream it, but I'd also like to make the edited version where it cuts out all the where I'm getting lost or I keep getting eliminated in the game repeatedly by enemies, or I miss a jump or whatever. I want to kind of cut that short to make it more of a watchable format. And yeah, that's going to take some time. And unfortunately, bills can't be paid on hopes and dreams. I wish they could, because Christ, I'd be a millionaire. I want to make sure this is all logged down onto the Patreon, and make that a monthly exclusive, so you get a whole access to the full playthrough, ready to go on Patreon, and then you can then watch it as you wish after a month, whether that be on your respective platforms or somewhere else. Yeah, I wanted to make sure it was on there, on the table, I should say, so people are aware that that's my intentions. I don't like being that shady salesman. It's just like, oh hey, yeah, you can watch my stuff if you subscribe. It's like, no, it's not me. A little bit far. What else have we got? Yes, Super Mario 64 is on the table. We want to try and get that done. Really looking forward to completing it, because I've never finished it, so it's on my bucket list of games to finish for sure, definitely. And community activities, last but not least on my list. I rarely hop into my own Discord channel because I don't reach out to my community, which sucks. I need to work on that. And that is entirely my fault for not offering, sociable things to play. So what I'm going to try and do, is try and pitch it for a Sunday thing once a month. Probably be like the last Sundays of every month. That way everyone knows, the final Sunday. Obviously I make announcements and stuff like that and invite people, etc. But I want to do things like Mario Kart 8, Left 4 Dead, Halo Master Chief Collection, Fortnite, Gary's Mods, or Friend Slot games, or on PC or stuff like that, and try and open it up to as many platforms as possible. Which I know a majority of these things are platform locked, but I want to try and branch out to encourage people to have some fun, make it a gaming fun thing. People can stream it if they want. People don't. They don't have to. I will be streaming it, but I'd make it a probably a sub Sunday thing, so people don't flood the chat, be like, oh, can I join? Can I join? He's like, no, you got a sub to then join, and then you can hop into the community, if that makes sense. So yeah, it'll be probably a Twitch subscription rather than Patreon, but you know, I can work something out. We're sort of trying to figure it out as we go, but these are sort of like the foundations of my future plans. Eventually it will change and improve. So with that in mind, I do thank everybody for their patience. Honestly, this has been chaotic for the past month or so. I apologize for being AWOL, and I don't want to use excuses, but life does throw me curveballs a lot, and it really impacts my ability to do a lot. But I do want you to do me a favor. If you see anything on this list that I'm not doing, please call me out on it. Because I want to make sure that you have an entertainment space, you have a place that you can be that's welcoming and inviting. And it's not just my community, it's our community. That's the difference. I want to make sure people really have a space on the internet that they can freely speak and do what they like within reason. So, I don't like restrictive discords where, you know, you have to talk for at least a week before you can get invited to like the main channels and stuff. Once you're in the community, you're in the community. If you want to leave, you can leave, so on and so forth. So, Patreon Discord obviously still exists. It's not completely gone. But I will be making sure that that community also gets the same stuff that's on the public Discord if they're not part of it. So, yeah, I want to try and expand the community as much as possible, invite people regularly. And yeah, just make this a fun space for the internet to come and enjoy. So, with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for future content. Pop a comment saying, I don't know, cheese, to make sure that you've watched the whole thing at the end. I'll know if you haven't. And of course, take care.